How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to OLTTV and welcome back to the Defender 90. In this one, we are going to get into the 5 things that I've hated. And to be honest, this has been such a difficult thing because I haven't hated a thing about this car. These are just things that I think Land Rover maybe could have changed or things that I didn't really understand. So it's not 5 things I hate at all. I don't hate anything about this car. If anything, it's actually pretty perfect to me. So I'm going to get into 5 things that I think maybe could have been different or would change if this was my spec car. First thing then, and this is probably personal preference because I would prefer the 110, and that is actually just going to be the fact that there's no back doors, and that is the biggest cop out of a thing I don't like ever, because I can't change that on a 90. A 90 is a 90. I can't change that. The only thing I would have changed is had the 110. It just is because getting into this back seat isn't that great. So as you can see, you've literally got no room there whatsoever to get in. You move this seat forward and still, look at that, you're gonna have to try and climb through there, which isn't nice at all. Move it a little bit further forward, and as you can see, there isn't much space at all. If someone was sitting there, you're not sitting in there to let anyone in. That is a bit of a climb and a very tight squeeze to get into that. If you were to try and get in, obviously, I'll show you, you get in, and then once you are in, it's nice, you've got loads and loads of headroom, and if I'm sitting here behind the driver, you do have loads of room, not a problem whatsoever. But that is going to bring us on to the second thing about this car. I don't really like these sort of airplane style things. They just don't feel too great, they feel a bit flimsy. I think they would look better with nets, to be honest. I think if you put nets on the back of them, they'd look a lot better. The storage in the back here is decent, to be fair. I like how you get cup holders on the bottom, and you also get a bit of storage here. Seats are more than comfy, loads of room in the back. One thing I didn't understand was this split here. Why is there a split here on the pan roof? So maybe that's another thing I can throw in if I was going to be really nitty picky about this one. Love the grab handles. You got loads of support in the back. Seats are extra comfy. You got obviously this little pull down sort of center console here with 2 cup holders, really comfy seats, isofix available, and then you've also got your little 5-volt socket in the back of the seat. I think that's mad, like absolutely love that. And then you've got another little charging point there. So yeah, I think first thing and also the second is the space and the options of getting into the back of this isn't great. Once you're in, it's perfectly fine. You won't have any complaints sitting in the back of this for a long journey. The second thing then is just, I think the back of these could look a little bit nicer, but that is the last thing you're worried about if you're buying a Defender. You've got loads of charging ports down here as well, which I forgot to add. But yeah, first thing, personally, I would get the 110, and second thing, I think these look a bit naff. Getting out the back of this Defender then, it's a bit of a jump. Push these seats back. You can obviously press this button as well, so you don't have to press the bottom there. We'll move this all the way back and then flip that back, coming round the car. And that is actually, this Defender has say that again, Owen, electronically assisted brakes, which can take a little bit to get used to. So basically, when you brake, the car uses electronically assisted brakes to brake as well. And it's really, it's a lot better than normal brakes, but it can take a little while to get to. The first few times of braking, you were sort of jolting forward because you were doing it too heavy. But once you get used to that, they actually are really, really good. So that's going to be the third thing, and it's not even a negative, it's just something that I can think of that was weird when I first got into this car. The fourth thing then, and it is actually going to be the visibility out of the back of this car. So the visibility of the wing mirrors is perfect. You can't complain whatsoever. That is massive, you can see everything, but it is going to be out of this back window. You can't see anything because of the headrests and the wheel on the back, so the back view is really limited. The back view of your blind spot is really good. That window is absolutely huge, but yeah, like you can see, you can't see much out of there. And this is, again, not something I can say I hate, because Land Rover have thought of the counter. You've got clear view, so all you do is flip that on, and that hate and that problem goes away. So again, I am literally nitpicking for the sake of it. This car doesn't really have anything I would change about it, but I have to include things, and it's going to be the observation if you weren't a fan of using clear view. I know not everyone is going to like the fact that that's a camera rather than a normal mirror. It takes a little bit while to get used to, but if you're someone who's into your tech or you're used to modern sort of features in a car, that is not going to bother you whatsoever. So that is the fourth thing. The fifth and final thing that you don't like about a Defender, but at the same time it is not an issue at all, and is that is just its dynamic capabilities. It's not going to be something you can throw around at 50 mile an hour around a corner or whatever and be dynamic in this car. It is a big boxy thing. It has air suspension, it has like all your traction controls and everything like that. You can make this a really, really smooth and comfortable drive in the city, but it's never going to be that racy sort of car like a Sport or a Vogue or whatever can be, or a Velar even. But that's not what this car is built for at all. So I am nitpicking again, just looking for a reason to make 5 things I dislike about this car for people to think of. Its dynamic capability as a fast driving car around corners and handling isn't an issue whatsoever, because you're not going to be driving this like a lunatic. You're going to be driving this comfortably. You're going to be driving this in a city, or you're going to be driving off-road, and everything you can do on here and down here to make this car better off-road as well as in the city absolutely trumps all the things about, oh yeah, I can't do 40 mile an hour around a corner in this car on a country road. It doesn't matter if this went off-road. If you were to go to do 40 in a car around a corner and you came off-road in this, you wouldn't even bat an eyelid. You just go across the road, cross the field, and on to the next road you can. So that is the 5th thing, just a dynamic capability. If you're wanting something a little bit more sporty, a Defender isn't really for you. But then again, none of any of the Land Rovers are, to be honest. Even an SVR, it has body roll and its chassis isn't great. So yeah, that is the 5th and final thing. Saying that, actually, I am going to throw one more thing into this one, and it is actually just going to be storage, but that comes in when you buy a 90. So as you can see, how nice are them headlights, by the way. If you come into the back here, your storage is pretty poor. You're not fitting much in there. You're getting a few shopping things, but you've got tethers here to hook everything onto. You've got tethers on the side. I'm not sure what that is, but yeah, the space, it's not even an arm's length or anything, but easy to clean. You can throw things in the back and not worry about it. There's no load lip. You've got a little bit of storage underneath there. I'm not going to lift it up too much, but yeah, you've got plenty storage, plenty hooks as well, which makes that space a little better. But yeah, the storage in a 90 isn't fantastic. That's why I do think that the 110 is the better option personally. But yeah, that is an extra thing to throw in to end off this video of the 5 things I'm not even going to call it a hate, but I am going to have to call it a hate for the sake of video. The 5 things I've hated about this car. I honestly do think that the new Land Rover Defender is absolutely perfect, to be honest. I think it's one of the best cars you can get in the Land Rover lineup, and take all these 5 things with a pinch of salt, because all of them can be removed quite easily, and it is just for the sake of a video that I've had to think of 5 things. But here we are then, 5 things I've hated about this Land Rover Defender. Thanks all for watching. Drop a like, drop a comment, and if you prefer the 110, let us know down below and let us know your thoughts on this 90. Catch you all in another one, guys. Cheers.